question I had was, could you tell us about, your gaming background? I mean, like, what got you into gaming and things like that?
Sure. So my gaming background itself, of course, I've been playing video games since I was a little kid. The way I got into covering video games professionally is actually I was working for MTV in Vancouver, and we were doing a daily show, and I realized that we should be covering video games as well, because we were covering everything that a teenager would be interested in, but video games was a big hole. So I took that on. Vancouver is a great place to cover video games because there's a lot of amazing companies there. And from that, I decided I wanted to make the move to Los Angeles. I ended up at G4, and then very quickly after that, Game Trailers scooped me up, and I've been with them ever since. So I've been very lucky because I just love the industry.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. I mean, I was looking over the bio and your bio, and I saw that you done a lot of work with gaming. I mean, what was it like, working with Game Trailers and then ending up with working with Spike TV?
It was amazing. I was with Game Trailers prior to them getting bought by Viacom, and we were just a startup little website, and nobody really knew who we were. So it's been amazing to be on the ride with them, as now they're a part of Spike, and there's a really big brand awareness. And I just love people that make video games. I love the people that play video games. So it's really great to be surrounded by them all the time. It's really nice.
And it must be great because then you get to not only see and try a bunch of games, but then you're also exposed to not only the people that make them, but then all the fans that out there that play them and love them.
Absolutely. And gamers are a very passionate bunch, which I love.
Oh, yeah. It can be passionate for the good and for the bad.
Yes, they can.
So Obsolete Gamer deals with classic gaming as well. That's one of our main focuses. And so we always like to ask people if there's a classic game that you would pick that would be your favorite.
Well, I'm going to have to go back to the games that I really loved and played as a kid. Super Mario 3, it was huge for me that I was the first person in my family to finish that game. I can still feel the triumph that I felt over all of my cousins that day, so I definitely come back to that. A classic game that may not be at the top of everyone's list, but that I loved was Paperboy. We had actually bought it for my little brother for Christmas, but he was young enough not to know, so leading up to Christmas, we would take it out of the pack and play. And then The Legend of Zelda, amazing. Like, I can just think about it right now. I'll always come back to those three.
Oh, definitely. I mean, all those three games are great. I mean, Paperboy for me, I don't know, it got frustrating after a while, but definitely the other two, definitely classic.
I think it was almost just that moment of being able to, play the game after my brother went to bed. I got to feel special, and that was awesome. And I was really good at it.
So as far as what's coming this summer, what is the big thing in gaming that most of us fans can look forward to?
Well, of course, right now we're getting geared up for E3 2012. That's happening June 4th to 7th at the LA Convention Center, and we're going to be bringing you all sorts of coverage on Spike TV. We're kicking things off live on Monday morning from the Microsoft press conference, and we are going to be showing you everything you need to know. So if you can't make it to LA, don't worry. We've got you covered.
It's definitely a great event. I always say that if you get a chance to go, it's a great place to be. It's sensory overload, but
it really is. It really is.
So, as far as Battle for Everything, now we know that that's connected with Battleship that's coming out. And, I mean, there's been some people who've asked, why a game is becoming a movie like that. And it's like, I think that a lot of people get too caught up in the fact that everything has to have, like, a direct reason. I mean, everything doesn't have to be like the kind of movie that you would see, like, let's say, a Schindler's List. Sometimes, especially in the summer, you just want a feel-good movie, and Battlefield really looks like one of those feel-good movies, like Independence Day, I would say. I mean, what is your impression of the movie from what you've seen from trailers?
I think the movie is going to be amazing. I mean, it's all sorts of action, adventure, Rihanna, Brooklyn Deckler, Taylor Kitsch. There's some great cast in there. And then the aliens, it looks like the special effects are going to be amazing. It hits theaters on May 18th, so definitely going to check that out.
So what can you tell us about the actual game, the Battle for Everything?
So Coke Zero has teamed up with B-Rail to create a tower defense game. It's one of the coolest tower defense games I've ever played. In Battle for Everything, you're going to play as Lieutenant Alex Hopper, who's played by Taylor Kitsch in the movie. And throughout the game, you are under alien attack. So your job is to fend off the aliens, hold your ground, and then protect what's yours, whether that's a ship at sea or a base on land. There's lots of cool weapons to help you do that, including helicopters, turrets, mines, battleships, tanks, just to name a few. One thing that really makes this game stand out from other tower defense games is you are also going to have at your disposal an RHIB speedboat or helicopter that you can maneuver throughout the grid in addition to the fleet that you need to strategically deploy to get rid of the aliens. And you can use that helicopter or speedboat to help you kill the aliens. So it's just really fun. I think that fans of the tower defense genre are going to love this game, but I don't think it's stuck to them. I think any gamer or any person in general is going to be able to pick up this game and have a lot of fun. It's addictive.
Yeah, it definitely looks great. I mean, I always love tower defense games, and I just think that the idea, I mean, you think of first the original Battleship, then you think of what the movie brings, and I think that a tower defense game actually fits perfectly. As far as the game itself, you know, are there any prizes for playing the game, or what kind of things can you look forward to when you go and play the game?
Absolutely. So first off, you can access the game by visiting BattleForEverything.com. And what you're going to want to do is the first couple of levels are free. But after that, you're going to get My Coke rewards points in order to upgrade levels, weapons, and boost your arsenal. I highly recommend getting those My Coke rewards points. The reason why I suggest doing that is because especially after the first few levels, the alien attacks become very intense. So the more weapons in your arsenal, the better. Now, you had also asked if there was anything on the line, and absolutely. This game is not just about bragging rights. There's lots of great prizes on the line as well. Gamers can instantly win some very neat prizes, or they can enter sweepstakes to win Coke Zero coupons, movie tickets, Live Nation concert cash. Activision has a new Battleship video game coming out for the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. You can win copies of that. And in addition to all of that, you can also get trips to Universal Studios in Orlando or Los Angeles, and maybe even a trip to Hawaii.
That sounds awesome. Now, it is available now, and people can go play. But the question I had is this one of those games where you play it up to when the movie comes out, and then it's kind of one of those things that you might check in, or is it something that gamers would be engaged in long after the movie is premiered?
I think it's definitely something that players can continue to engage in after the movie has premiered. The more Coke rewards points that you enter in, the more you're going to be able to access, and it's just a fun, addictive game. There's a couple of levels that are harder than others, and those were the levels that I found myself just going back to over and over again because I wanted to do better than I did the first time when I completed it.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I know that a lot of gamers want a challenge. I mean, especially with tower defense. I mean, sure, you want to have a learning curve so you can get used to it, but afterwards you want a good challenge. So I guess the last question would be along those lines. Do you have any tips or tricks on the game that can help us gamers out, maybe especially those who are maybe not familiar with tower defense games?
Sure. So like in any tower defense game, of course, strategy is key. You're going to always want to try to stay one step ahead of your opponent, which is easier said than done, especially in this game, because the aliens in this game can be very unpredictable and they can attack from every angle. So what I would suggest you do is, of course, strategically deploy your fleet to give you the most resistance against the aliens as possible, but additionally, make sure that you leave as much space as possible between your fleet and with what you're protecting. And the reason why I suggest that is because as the alien attacks become more intense and you've gained points from killing the aliens, then you will have space to put additional tanks, battleships, and build your defenses that way. Also, I would recommend keeping as many weapons in your arsenal as possible because especially towards the end of the game, those attacks become very intense, and the more weapons in your arsenal, the better, of course.
Sounds great, and thanks for the tips. So, I mean, everybody should head on over there right now, www.BattleForEverything.com, and of course, Battleship will be out on May 18th, so everybody go check that out. And I just want to thank you very much, Amanda, for giving us this interview.
Oh, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.